Hey everybody, this is Tristan and Carlo. Carlo is currently a blank screen.
Yeah, but I'm still
Um,
here. You can hear me, right?
yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
But we are we were sorting through some technical difficulties, but we think we got them figured out. And Carlo is just sending out the message, you know, telling everybody that we're live. So,
Yeah, so Tristan, tell them what you worked on this week.
um. This week, was just playing around with some old sculpts, trying to see what I can improve on those files and how we can kind of figure out some of the issues that we were having with the prints at the time. Here, let me share my screen real quick. Okay, sweet. So that would be everything's kind of being loaded in last minute because again we were kind of sorting out some technical difficulties
Everything's
with
kind
our
of being
internet.
loaded in last minute. Again, we were sorting out some technical difficulties with our internet.
Carlo,
You getting back feed?
yeah.
Sorting out. All right.
All right. So I
Can you
think
maximize your face real quick?
yeah.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You don't even do that.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead. Keep talking.
some uh some people who are watching may remember uh this guy from a couple of years ago. Uh big alien thing. Well, we were having some issues at the time when we sculpted him. Um, you may remember he had four legs. Well, the adapter that we made for those legs it had an issue where because the top half is so big
Heavy,
and,
big
and
and heavy.
heavy, yeah, it's big and heavy. um, it was putting a lot of weight on the adapter that we made, which was essentially just a crossbeam. Pretty much, I think I can show that. Yeah. So it's basically. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it's basically just a crossbeam like this, right? And turns out that wasn't really enough to support it fully because, like, either one or two of these beams would end up snapping, and can't really have that. So,
Well, they would snap when they fell, but they would bend. Actually, I think the bending was a big part of it as well.
yeah. So we thought it would be better if we just added like a ton of mass around the cross section
Which is basically
of
a crotch piece, right?
yeah. It's basically just a crotch piece. But when I modeled it at the time, like I modeled it kind of quick, and I think we were running out of time before the con, and we went
We're
to
always running out of time.
yeah. We just needed to get it printed out. So yeah, spent a little bit more time, went back to it, and ended up coming up with something like this. This isn't going to be the final look. This is just a mock-up to try and see if this sorts out the issue that we were having. and I made a couple of different iterations of it just to see what works best. What one being a cross section that kind of points up, right? Because we were having an issue with it bending. So if it's already bent up, then one might think that it's not going to bend anymore. And Carlo, I don't know if I showed you this, but that idea for the pistons that I had, or at least the support kind of going down the middle.
Yeah.
I think you were right when you told me the other day that it probably wouldn't work for the way that we had designed that crossbeam, or for the way I had designed that base crossbeam. But I had an idea where and thought, well, if they're pointing up or even if they're pointing down, you're really not going to have those issues with it running into the leg sculpt, I don't think, because it's kind of, or the support is positioned in a way where I would think it would essentially just avoid the connected piece.
All right. Hey, do me a favor real quick and maximize my screen.
Okay. Oops.
You're hitting that keyboard button. It sounds like you're on a. All right. My thumb's on the right side. Are we doing the whole infinite loop thing on this right now?
In a way.
In a way. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at. Okay. All right. That's where we want to be. Okay. You can dual us up or maximize you if you want.
Okay.
All right. So you thinking that I was right or that I was wrong?
I think that you were right about the original design, but I think that if we try adding that support there for it pointing up or even it pointing down, right? I feel like it shouldn't run into that issue of it hitting the leg.
Okay. But you supported 3 different versions of it, right? Like we talked about, or just 2?
Yeah, I have 3 different versions together.
Man, I lost my little black glove.
Dang, I've done that. So this is kind of like where I've come to with this piece. I haven't made a ton of progress on the other head like Carlo has, just because I don't really know where I want to go with it. I obviously Carlo's gone in about 3 or 4 different directions with his.
As I do. As I do. Actually, I took a whole day taking the original one and turning it into something different, and then I took another day, and then actually the head maximized me real quick, Tristan. The head we currently have on the screen was the one that we started, and this is how different with like 4 hours worth of work you can actually get it. So, like I decided to pull his jaw more, make it look more, have bigger underbite, and through different horns on top. I really like the horns that I got here, how crisp I have them. I might go ahead and zero mesh that and see if I can keep that edge, but smooth out this area right here. It looks like it's a little wobbly. Again, when we're putting them out small, I don't even know if that's going to show up. I do know that the first Oni head I did had a little bit of wobbly. It was less hard surfacey. like smoothed out, but it's still read okay. And these are better than that now because I've been using more. So, uh, I'm gonna go back to that other one as well. But yeah, this is just kind of what we got. And then I got the chest piece in here. I've had this chest piece for a while. I felt like the chest plate I want removable. And then I would like to make that in a clear resin so I could do that symbol, that Raijin symbol you made for your sword, and plug it in there, and or have the chest glow a little bit because I like the lights, the light up features. I want to have glowing shoulder pads as well, and maybe even try to get that sword to glow. But that is uh, that's far out there right now. Currently, I just got to get settled down on because I kind of like this chest, but there's a few things I think this is what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take these cylinders and maybe change them out because I have a lot of repetitive shapes in there. But the repetitive shapes that I have, uh, I can switch out with other subtools, other cylinders and whatnot. So that's what I'll probably work on the chest a little bit today and the head. So we're gonna have a reveal today, which I already showed, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. And then yeah, Tristan, if you want to do whatever you want to do today, work on. This is kind of just like a project vlog
Okay.
episode, I guess. So you can go ahead, go back to your screen if you got up what you want to be doing.
I see you found your glove.
Yeah. See
Uh,
what this glove does is it doesn't click when I rub it on the screen, but when I do this, it clicks. So what happened the other day is I accidentally undid a lot of things and scaled it weird. So it took me a whole day to rescale things. So
oh, jeez.
yeah,
Well,
I'll be right back.
okay. While he is doing that, I'm gonna pull up another thing that I worked on, like maybe at the beginning of the year. Something that I made uh, around the beginning of the year, because I think I want to work on something related to this today. It's a little bit different than what people are probably used to in our uh, streams. Oh, wait, what is it? So yeah, if y'all remember, a few years ago, I did this head for Raijin, the Japanese god of thunder, and I decided, and I wanted to do this when I sculpted him. I wanted to make him into a full statue. Well, I um, decided to do that, but this is going to be essentially mini scale because it'd be a lot to kind of print out the whole thing. But this is something that that could be scaled up pretty easily. I would just have to divide the pieces a lot more because if I wanted it to be like a 6-inch or even like a 12-inch figure, these pieces are going to be pretty big. So I don't think this is the current file that I have for this. I suppose it doesn't even really matter, but at the same time, I would kind of like it to be sort of on the screen, at least as inspiration. Okay, that doesn't even show. So I'm just going to sort through my files for a second. Pretty sure I know where it is. It's in here. This is a file called Raijin Mini. Okay. Hold on. Oh. That was from my Dropbox? Okay.
All right, go click over back to me.
Okay. So yeah, there we go.
All right, so we're up here in the Oni torso. So currently, this is a project file that has a bunch of different pieces. If I solo out some of these pieces, you can see here's my head, and there's a little bit of wobbliness right in this area right here. So the fix for that would be to take this inflate brush, possibly, and go over that and see what it does. Now that's going to bring that out a little bit, but then it gets all wobbly. So like when you put this material on it, I can see if in fact it's too wobbly or if it's smooth. And it's smooth, but it's still like not where I'd like it. So I go and I hold the shift button here and I smooth it out. And what this will do is it'll give it a more relaxed car like if you're thinking like a motorcycle helmet or a gas tank look. And that kind of bumps that out. And when I'm sculpting, what I'm doing is I'm playing and I'm looking, I know what I want it to do, and I'm looking at these reflection shadows to make sure they're behaving like a real life reflection shadow is. And then I look at it from all these different angles to see if it's smooth enough so it will mimic a car hood or a car paint job. So this is a good material for that. What I'm doing here though is I'm destroying with the smooth brush, I'm destroying the edge here. So it's a back and forth because now I have to go in with this pinch brush and tell it where I want that line to pinch at again. So then I go back over it like this, and sometimes you have it just about perfect, and then you do that process, and then it's destroyed, and then you have to redo the things. So there's a bunch of different brushes you have, and you do it from different angles because it'll get wobbly. And then from this area, I just smooth this back out a little bit more, and I just keep going with the pinch brush on this corner, smooth it out. And like this one, this guy, I lost the edge right in here. So I'm going to pinch that back up. But when I do that again, I have to go right back with a smooth and just go back and forth till it kind of, I look at it from every angle. Like this angle right here, that's not good enough. So I'm gonna go back in here and just try to go over and over. And this is like the boring part. I think last week when we were creating the things, it was more exciting, more fun for people to watch. But you gotta be real careful when you're smoothing because right now I smoothed out this piece right here and it's no longer sharp. You see how I'm doing that, and it's killing that edge. So I'm gonna actually do that on purpose so I can feather that into the smooth surface. So there's a smooth transition right there. But again, as I'm coming here, my brush size is dependent on how far out it smooths and if it messes with the other pieces. So over and over, I'm just gonna sit here at a low strength and then soothe or smooth. I said soothe. Smooth this piece down. And then sometimes you can actually switch materials. So if I go from metal to like a normal material, you're gonna see.
I gotta say real quick. I gotta say real quick that was a really smooth transition on that brow.
This right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it worked out pretty good. I was planning on doing that, but if you look at it under this one, you can kind of see with the highlights and the shadow if it's kind of where you want it. So you can do it with a bunch of different brushes, but you just want to have your strength really low so it's like you don't really get a lot of it. So right now with this material, I'll go back in, and when you switch materials like this, you kind of see it from all the different digital angles, and you can kind of approximate what you think it'll look like in real life. Uh, do you ever do that, Tristan? Do you ever switch materials like that to see highlights or shadow?
Um, I do sometimes. Kind of when I want to see like what something that is supposed to be a specific material will look like. I definitely don't do it probably as much as I should. Um, I think that's kind of because like I feel like I feel like I'm getting a decent idea of like where I'm going with it. But at the
I
same time, like yeah, like looking at something at that other angle or in like that I guess other light will or is a good idea.
I think it's most beneficial on the hard surface. So I think if you're doing something, and I'm specifically the hard surface that has to be smooth like a car, right?
Hmm.
If you're doing rusty hard surface, right? If you're doing dinged up hammered metal, not as important, right? But if you want to do that cool plate panel look, you know what I mean? Then I
Hmm.
say the checking the material and sculpting in different ways just to see how it's looking in all of them. I think it's a good practice. So
I agree.
yeah, so we'll just say here with this hard surface stuff, and again, I'm not by any means uh, a pro at it, right? Like this is only like my second or third surface. I've never really completed a hard surface project, so this is only the second or third one I've done. Again, I want to go back to that original Cyberoni head that I did a few years back and use these techniques on it. But I still have this. No, I don't have this on mirror. Why wouldn't I have that on mirror?
I've asked myself that question before.
So okay, so this is another process. So I spent just 10 minutes on here trying to make this line better, right? But then when I look on the other side, it's not better. So the way to get out of that, right, would be I go to deformation and I mirror that, and you can see there's not much difference. But the only difference that's happening is this one little spot because it was mirrored up to this point. This one little spot that I have that I worked on when I mirror it, you can see how it changes. And the funny thing is like it hasn't changed much. So
Yeah.
I just did a little bit of work here, and like in the end, was it even really necessary? And then you'll do that a lot as an artist. You'll do something and then go back, and then do something and go back. But the thing I did right here is I got this brow transition a little bit cleaner on that piece right there. So now that I have it on this side, I do still want it to mirror. So then I'll go to my subtool and uh, geometry, and then I'm gonna find the modify topology and then mirror that back over. So this side should now be completely mirrored. And now when I put the mirror button on, which I should have done in the beginning, and I do something crazy like pull out an eyebrow super far,
Hmm.
it does it on both sides. So there's that. Um, as far as this head goes, I really like the sharp teeth. I really like I want to. I don't know. I want to make it feel as smooth as possible. One thing that I can do is I can separate some of these pieces and work on them individually and then bring them back in. So like
Mm.
if I come on, solo that. If I mask them out with the mask pen, and this would be like if I'm trying to Z remesh it, or if I just want this piece to be able to use in other parts of the body because I like the transition.
Yeah.
You'll come over and do this. Sometimes you'll box model over top of a piece like this if you just can't get it right with the brushes. You'll go in and you'll rebox model this piece.
Mm.
But just for example, I'll put this in here like this, like so. All right, you see how it's there on both sides. I guess I could have had it off for that. I'm going to do the extract feature again, and then I'm going to accept it. Let's see where we're extracting at.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you go back to an old piece or like a piece you haven't worked on in a while, and you realize I don't think I worked on this particular section. Because like I'm looking at this leg and I'm like, I don't think I ever like finished that.
Well, again, when you're like, and that's why I said go back and look at the pieces. You know what I mean? Like when you're in the thick of it, sometimes you miss some stuff. And then if you're sitting, and it's different on a painting because it's like you're looking at a flat thing and it's glaring in your face. I think in 3D you get lost in the details of everything else, and then you don't see some certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not like
I
it's a
think.
glaring thing in your face. Like if it's under the leg and you're not really paying attention to the leg. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the other thing is like, this is going to be a miniature, so like,
Yeah, you're not going to see it.
yeah, like especially this particular leg, like you're really not going to see it that well, like at all.
Right.
So I'm wondering how much I should even do to it. Like, I probably like to add still some of the texture, at least on this leg, and yeah, like a little bit on this leg, but for the most part, like yeah,
So
you're really
I,
not going to see that stuff.
I'm curious
Y-
why you're going back to that mini to work on it. Was there something you wanted to look into? Is it?
Um,
I mean,
like,
is it?
well, for the most part, it's basically print ready. I think I had a, you know, I'm not even 100% that this is the current file that I have for it. So hold on, uno momento. I'm gonna go back
Put me
to
up. Yeah, put me up.
yeah. I'm gonna go back to you.
So this is the piece on the face that I extracted, and from here I can really focus in on the smoothness, not worrying about it blending into the face. So what happens a lot is when you do hard surface, you want to keep the edges of your lines crisp, almost like a panel, right? And if this piece was butted up against the other piece, then when I go and smooth it and things like that, these corners will bleed into the other side of.
And my ZBrush just crashed.
Good thing you didn't have a file you were working on.
Yeah.
so so basically this is what I do to kind of focus on this piece in particular. Also, I will be able to merge it back down when I'm done. If you look at this line right there, that is a hard surface line. Like that is where I want this piece. And to get it all the way to the end like this, there's always like wobblies and stuff like that. That's where this H polish brush comes in good as well, because as I'm doing this, I can smooth this part down. I gotta turn this floor off. The screen's driving me nuts. All right. Sometimes I just look through the floor plane and I sculpt through the floor plane and I realize I've been looking through the floor plane for 5 minutes. All right. So whenever you do this, like you just kind of smooth it out. I hit the shift button to try to get this whole piece down. And the good thing about this is if I want to see what it looks like back on the helmet, that's good like that. So now this piece right here looks like it's a separate piece that's sticking out. When you're doing hard surface, any type of light that'll catch an edge will also catch paint and or shadow. So I'm okay with it kind of peeking out like this, even though I didn't originally have that. But you can see the separation between the plates. So most machines have, some sort of plating. And this is just kind of how I'm see, this is weird too, because it's like giving me a weird. The other thing is I can mask off the corners so this doesn't happen, but I'm just going to be trying to be real careful in here as I'm smoothing this to try to get this to be acceptable. Your keys, when you hit them, it sounds like you're on a catwalk in a giant warehouse.
That's my mouse
It's your mouse.
that I'm clicking right now. Yeah.
It's like dum 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 dum.
Yeah, that's my mouse.
Okay.
Well, maybe
So-
it's this one.
All right. So again, this is just the tedious stuff right here. And again, this is why, like, I don't put out a lot of stuff because I'm sitting here smoothing this thing for 20 minutes sometimes. And it's just like, it's not a quick process for me. Like, I don't know how other people's processes are. Maybe they're more efficient than mine. If you look at this down here, like I'm gonna smooth this little corner transition here, or maybe I'll do a H polish here, see if that'll bring it up. Or there's other ones. There's flattens. There's my smooth. Oh, my smooth is still set at smooth strong. That's why it was wrecking stuff. So your smooth has different.
That's not right.
Your smooth tool has different characteristics depending on the one you pick. And this one, I think there's a smooth. Looks like smooth variance. Smooth variance is kind of doing what I want it to do right there. It's just taking whatever's higher and whatever's lower and kind of bringing it together. So this smooth variance is actually working perfectly. Oh, see, not there because I hit the line. So it's like some of the smooths will respect the line, some of them won't. And then you just got to go in, lift your pen up so that undo process isn't there. And then just kind of get in there just really, really slowly to get that little upturn lip where you want it to be. Other thing that I can do is, let's see how it does over here. That didn't do what I wanted to do. Go back to H polish. So I've seen guys on the internet sculpting jewelry with this H polish. I forget the guy's name. He's a big ZBrush guy. He's always on their channel. Do you know the guy I'm talking about, Tristan? The sculpts the jewelry. He just has crazy amounts of polygons.
The jewelry?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah. But he says he doesn't worry about topology, but he's sitting there with this smooth brush to get rings and whatnot looking smooth. Let's see what we got here. And I can also use the pinch, I think, in this particular situation to take these corners and kind of round them out. If I see, I can't do that. Maybe if I do a low. Nope, ain't doing that again. What are you laughing at?
You're nothing.
Okay.
You're sounded like you almost slipped up. Said something.
Oh. I don't think I was being naughty.
No, never mind.
Never mind. I'm sure I didn't mean to.
So
go ahead.
I haven't found the mini that I was looking for, but I did find this guy. This is something.
You're on my screen. We can't see.
No, I know. What the heck? Oh, sorry, it crashed, so I have to bring it back. There it is. There it is. I did find this.
So is that the regular Raijin file, the original Raijin file?
No, this is the updated body that I did with articulated pieces that I don't think we ever fully tested, but I think they definitely needed some work.
Is that the one that I have printed out of the white resin?
No, I don't think it's the same piece because I modeled these parts differently than that original one.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to try out an articulation method that I haven't seen too many, or really if anybody, use, where essentially, like, I cut lines, or I cut articulated joints in the elbows and the knees, kind of in 3 sections, to where you get a double jointed look. But I thought that in doing it this way, that it would kind of keep a lot of the form, as opposed to like in most double articulated sculpts, where like when you bend it in both joints, it kind of, I don't want to say like breaks the model, but like it breaks up the like the sculpt, the sculpted detail that you put into it. Obviously, this was just kind of like a test, and didn't really pursue this any further. But I feel like I could go back to this and and turn it into something, because like I did update, like when I made the mini file, like that was essentially like in my mind, in my idea, like the final look that I was going for this character. So maybe if I go back to that and take some of the ideas that I put into that and threw it into this guy, once we get the once I get the articulated joints figured out, like this could actually turn into a fully articulated action figure, like we always wanted to.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not crazy about those joints. So if you want to put all that work into it, that's why the one you had, which I don't know where we put that. I think that is somewhere else. It makes more sense because of the resin that we're using.
Yeah.
I feel like it's less dainty.
Maybe that's why I never ended up pursuing it further.
Like, single jointed, double jointed. Like, it's not made out of plastic, so it's not going to be as durable. There's having a bunch of little different balls in there that you gotta clip together. Like, I've seen people do it. I've seen a lot of people do the resin stuff on the internet. As far as like the different types of joints they're using in it. And I mean, there's a few different ways that they're doing, but again, they're different than the way that the plastic toys would be made. So it's just like you give and take, I think, with resin. Obviously, if I throw a plastic figure down the stairs or a resin figure down the stairs, they're probably both gonna break. I feel like the plastic figures didn't break. The last toy we did, full toy, I threw down the stairs, the pegs broke. You know what I mean? But the resin pieces, the anti-impact resin, as far as the arms, the legs, the spikes, maybe a spike broke, maybe not, but like, yeah, it's something. So, what are you gonna work on something?
I would like to. I'd like to
just to tell you what to work on.
What's that?
Work on the spider leg. Make the spider leg.
I'm not. I'm trying to find the the right file,
okay,
so that I can actually work on something without blowing up my computer. Because the one file that I made, I had a fully decimated file for that mini, that I'd like to have up there when I work on the next part. I just don't want to have the like undecimated like project file for Raijin up before I start the
that's
next
fair
part,
enough. So
because
you're gonna work.
it's just
Okay, I
gonna.
thought you were just trying to figure out what to do.
No,
So
I'm looking for something.
you're gonna be working on Raijin then?
Kind of. I already basically already finished Raijin. But you know, he does have a brother, and I never really got around to making that piece. So that's kind of what I'm trying to.
So you're gonna start a new piece this close to Legion's Con?
Yeah.
Because we have all the other things that we talked about doing.
Uh, you know what? No.
I mean, I hate to do this live, but like, I just
No,
like we have a list of things that we gotta try to get through.
yeah. Never mind. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna work on the spider leg.
Okay. I hate to be the
Sorry,
boss.
I had a rough night. I didn't get very good sleep.
Yeah, that's fine. It feels like if you just take it in there, scale it, merge it, do a couple, because you don't want to even stay that long today, right? You got stuff to get to. So
Yeah, well, I mean, like at that point, it's like it feels like I'm barely even working on something. Like it's really just scaling and merging.
you could add tech bits, and
It's not really much of an interesting stream.
I got my thing. I got my thing that I'm sculpting on, and it doesn't have to be interesting. This is just like us sharing our process of how we get ready for Legion's Con. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is my Z ad is down. That's why it's not working. I don't know, like even that, like scale it, do whatever you got, and then move on to your the Frieza head that you started last week. You know what I mean? Just kind of, I just want to like charge forward with the projects. Yeah, and
Yeah.
are you going to redo the sword for the 1.0 scale, 12-inch scale? Because I think we both decided it would work for the ogre scale.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna do that today
Okay.
because I.
Usually we have a game plan before we come in here. So.
Yeah. It's. I literally woke up and Carlo was like, "Yeah, we're going on in 30 minutes." I'm like, "Really? Okay."
Well, you're usually up at like 6:30.
Well,
I just expected you to be down there like normal.
yeah, no, sorry. I didn't get very good sleep last night. Like it felt like I was waking up like every 2 hours to something else or something different. Like I gotta. Yeah, I got like a scam message like at 4 in the morning telling me that I had a traffic ticket I needed to pay off. And I was like, oh,
So scam meshes is meshing with our stream.
but it's like there were like other things. It's just like I kept waking up at different points, and it really broke up my sleep. And yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah, I say just go with the sword. Get that tidied up. I'll since we're talking about it, maximize me real quick. I'll show the sword that we did. So 2 weeks ago, you showed the sword on stream, and here we are with it. I don't have a light on it too well, and I got weird shadows. But basically, this is the sword. It fits good in a 1.0 hand. I got this knight over here. Now I don't really know if I don't really know how the details will turn out. The two that I painted up was either transparent or white, so you can't really see the detail. And I think the detail that we lost on it, let's see here. The detail that there's a little bit of light. The detail that we lost on it may just be because I covered it in 8 coats of glow in the dark paint, right? So the one that was like that is this, and that is it fully painted. It muddied up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It muddied up a lot of the mechanical grooves and dots that Tristan made. So our thought was to make those a little bit deeper on the scale. And this blade does actually glow. So it's supposed to be an energy blade. I have them in like a single color, and I thought maybe I would just paint the handles black or silver and then leave the blade color the transparent. But a few things that we wanted to do. I feel like as small as some of these details are, when I put the metallic paint on it, like this right here, this piece, you can see that detail pretty good. And he's got little wires. Is those little wires coming out of the bottom of it? The hill. You see what I'm looking at? Like right here?
Yeah.
Were those wires or was that like a washer?
And no, it's like a wire system.
Okay. So those wire systems came out, but then the bottom of it got real muddy. I think that's where the supports were. So we're just gonna have to keep working on this to try to support it where you see like that Raijin symbol. Like he cut actual teardrop shapes in there, but it kind of I think filled up with spray paint. So and then when it does that, then I'm just kind of guessing where the detail is rather than letting the paint just flow into it. So these rods that he had on it, pretty good. I think those, turned out all right. And this piece right here, Tristan, this little tube right here, I think that's where you need to like exaggerate the transitions so they read better. And then this up here, this part, you just need to cut in those little squares and vents and stuff a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's 1.0. It's supposed to be all these Onis are going to be like bigger because I like the ogre scale the best. But there's that. So we're gonna get another print off here this weekend of them, hopefully, and see how they go. Actually, the next one's Tristan, because we have a new printer coming in today. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be coming in today.
It was on. I tracked it. You know what I mean. So it was on the. App is arriving today. So hopefully we can do the bigger ogre scale swords. I can't wait to hold that in ogre scale. It's gonna be because we have the Arakagor sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll just measure it to be that length, and that'll be fun to paint. I'll be able to get all those vents and stuff in there. That's why I like that scale so much. It's just a breeze to paint. I know a lot of people don't collect them because don't collect a lot of them because they're so big. Obviously, the 6-inch scale figures are a lot easier to stick on a shelf, but like I like the big chunky figures.
Well, so I went back to a previous file here, one where I had like, all this stuff separate.
Yeah.
Because like the problem that I had, right, with some of this detail is like it's not something I just cut in there. It's like this is a panel that I put on top of.
Here, let me come down because it's a little on my screen. Just maximize your screen real quick.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. I mean, I can just maximize it.
No, but it's little on my phone, is what I'm saying. I can't. Really...
Oh. Okay. Oops. There it is. Okay. Like what I'm thinking is like I can just like so like this was a panel that I cut that I placed on top of a
Mm-hmm.
cut in or like a sunken in
Okay, let me see the panel again.
area
Let me see the panel again.
here.
Okay, so that's still a panel, right?
Yeah.
So you need to just maybe sink that in deeper, right?
Well, no, because I want it to be flush with the rest of it, but I want this line coming across to be deeper, which is kind of where I'm running into my issue, because it's like I can't just cut into it because it's not like it's like a
You need a bigger gap between.
yeah. I just need a
Okay.
bigger gap.
So what if
between
you
these.
what if you run a what if you run like a Boolean operation with a edge? Can you select the
See?
edge
I
of that
have well, I have that.
and then make a panel loop and just cut that in with a panel loop?
I do have a cutout, or I did have a cutout piece for that. But the problem is that I had actually I think the problem is like it was creating too hard of a line that
You didn't like it there, but being small, right?
yeah.
Being small, the bigger line will be more visible. Like things that won't ever be visible at 1.0 is that little cut in you did. It looks good, and for blowing it up, it looks great. But like,
Yeah. Well, I mean I can deepen that out with is it this one? No, that's the
could you take the
texture thing.
could you take the flatten brush? Select this piece right here. Could you take the flatten brush and just flatten that out at like a different angle, like that corner, and just flatten it, flatten it, flatten it, flatten it, flatten it?
It wouldn't create a smooth transition. Like I mean, I would use the dynamic trim brush,
Yeah.
and it would likely create a not very good transition because I'm not very good with that brush.
Zoom on to the other side. Can you zoom out? Go to the other side. Okay, so that is on that side. Those need to be deeper. So like
What does?
these little dots, they filled in with paint. And
Oh,
I couldn't
really?
see. Yeah, I couldn't see those dots.
See, it's like
I couldn't see none of this stuff. But again, it might have just been filled up with the spray paint.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was thinking because like when I printed it out, like it seemed like those things came in, but other things like these didn't really show up very well.
I'm sure they'll show up on the overscale though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like yeah, like doing like a new thing with like hard surface and whatnot. It was it's kind of hard to gauge like what would or wouldn't show up. Like something like this down here, like this little piece. Obviously, that wouldn't show up very well. So like honestly, I don't even really know why I have it.
The things
Still
that I
there.
see when I filled in and I painted, like this thing should probably be a little bit bigger. So you can make that, if this is a cylinder by itself, just scale that up so it sticks out farther. Things like this need to be sunk in a little bit further so that the distance, not just the line, but the distance between those two can catch paint and wash and highlight so you can actually read that better.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Like this piece right here, if that's a separate piece, make it wider and taller so there's more of an edge there. Exaggerate the features because they don't read small.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want it to be flush and that's your vision for the thing. But oh, and then secondly, I thought this was supposed to be mirrored down here. So I just put paint all over that. And if it was that, just didn't come out muddied.
I mean, it's essentially. I mean, it is kind of essentially.
But I went over the edge here. Like I wrapped it around.
I
like
see.
I didn't realize that those weren't two mirrored pieces. I don't know, just work on it. However
Yeah.
you want to work on it.
Not. Okay. Yeah.
All right. If you don't know, I mean, I don't know. You flip back to my screen, Tristan. Talk through my face with me for a second.
Hold on.
All right. What do you think could be done to this to make it look cooler? Do you think it's like 90% there? Should I cut some panel loops in? Should I use some alphas? Like this right here was an alpha, this was an alpha. Should I do some like mechanical stuff around this part? Or should I keep it smooth like that?
I think it'd be cool to do some things around that area. Like something that I started working on that I think adds some nice like breakage in like flat surfaces like that is like these little sunken in areas, right? Like these little nodes,
Mm-hmm.
right? That I put
Maximize. I'm
in.
back on my little cell phone, so maximize.
Okay. Like these little nodes that I put in here, right? That it's like it doesn't really like add a ton of what's the word, like bulk around a particular area, but it adds detail into the like the flat surface that you created. And this is just these little these Boolean shapes that I made, and these are actually in ZBrush, right? That you can find. I just made some small modifications to it to add these bevels in it, so it's like it's not just creating like a sharp transition.
Okay.
I thought it would be better if there was a little bit of beveling in there to make it, look a little nicer.
Okay. Look what I'm doing here real quick on my screen. You get back on solo. So what I'll do here to make this little shape that goes around this horn is pretty much a square or a diamond shape. So I'll take my diamond shape and I'll kind of move it into where I want it to be. Scale it down. I'm really digging the bend tool, but I think right here I don't really need to bend it so much. But this is where I'll go in with my my move tool, and I'll just kind of take these points. We'll make sure mirror's on because it's mirrored. I'll take my points. Why is that not selecting it? There we go. Those points, and I'll try to move them into better match. Are we not on mirror? Let's see here.
Okay, so that'll probably add a bit of a better transition there. These guys, I don't know. I feel like I should probably just make everything exaggeratingly bigger than I had initially intended on them being.
Well, I just I just scrapped that idea on my end. Wasn't working out what I wanted to do. So I'll just kind of select this horn like this. See if that's showing up at all. I'll just do the basic as subtract. And this way I'll know exactly where I want the gasket, basically, is I guess what I'm making, a gasket to transition that horn into the head. I think if I extract this now, it's going to look nasty, but we're going to see what it looks like. Yeah, see what that did there, Tristan? So that's not bad. I thought it was going to look a lot worse than. Oh, I messed it up. Maybe, I don't know if I wanted that wide though. So accept. So that's how I get. That's how I get that little shape.
That looks good.
Yeah. So now you can kind of see it looks pretty good. As it is, it's still masked off. If I solo that out, it's got something weird on the back. That didn't work out. Now, see, this is something that we got to worry about, Tristan, when we're doing the 3D prints, because, like, even though it looks like it's a solid mesh, when I go solo, there's a gap in there, and you never know in your model.
Well, go back to the full thing.
It's below the model.
Then don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know, but still, I wouldn't
even worry about it. Okay. It's not if it's not even going to be seen on the mesh, and then it's.
But this is why when I point, it's really easy, like right here. Well, when I'm selecting this and it's below the mesh when I'm drawing it, then it will. I just want to point that out actually, because if it's below the mesh when you're drawing it, it'll like not mask it because it is hidden by occluded by the geometry, I guess is the technical term, right? Anyway.
Hey, I know I didn't get a whole lot done, but I actually I got some stuff I gotta do today.
All right. Well, leave me on here. I'll just keep going with this and see what I come up with. Thanks.
Sorry to cut the stream short on my end. But
yeah, you're good. You're good. I'm just gonna sit here and I already got something cool, so I'm just gonna keep on pushing it. So I actually like this head more than I got two. This is the third coolest head I like. So I've done about 5, and so I don't know if we're gonna come out with all 5, but this one's kind of going in a good direction. So well, I'll check you next week, Tristan.
Yeah. So for the one person watching right now, sorry for kind of cutting it short.
You're all good, bud.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
I'll catch you guys.
Bye. All right. Back to the Oni head. So here we are. I extracted this piece, but I don't want that piece. So I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go back to this horn. And it would have been nice if I would just be able to copy this for all the other horns. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to go back to the extract. Hit it. And so it gives me that shape. This is the. I have to extract and accept. Boom. All right. So then there's that piece. Now this is where like I'll just like switch the color of it just to give me a visual representation of it. And I colored it red, which is not what I wanted to do. And so because my file's so big, currently, well, I don't know, it really isn't that big. Did I delete? It shouldn't be that big. For some reason, my undos, and Tristan's gone now, so I only have 2 undos. So like usually you have like thousands of undos. Maybe I can call him up here if he's still around. But I'm going to solo that. I'm going to clear that mask. I'm going to fill object. Now it's silver. Now it shows up differently. And I can go from here. Like I'm thinking, do I like that piece? Do I not like that piece? Do I want to solo that out? I feel like this corner right here is a little weird. But I like the inside and I like the top. So there is a thing that I can do where I just move these pieces around a little bit. Oh, let's make sure we're mirrored like so. Hey Tristan, you downstairs? Can you come up here real quick and show me how to get all my undos back? I only got 2 undos on this file. It's only 14 million polygons.
If
It
they're
can
not on that file,
No, I don't want them back. I just want to be able to have more undos. Currently, I only have 2 undos.
did you get a notification saying that?
Yeah, I did. So I
Yeah,
have to
it's
turn
not.
that off.
It's
There's no way to.
So undo history.
It only has 2, and the max undo history is supposed to be.
Well, when the file size gets too big, then it has to cut.
Okay, but it's not a big file size because
Well, 14 million is.
it's not that. Is it all these? Do all these
Yes.
make it into here?
All of it. In a way, it is processing all of that stuff.
Right.
So
like this file that can be deleted because I'm not using it.
yeah.
So
You can't get your undos back.
So I can.
But
Okay.
You can.
Because I started this file to begin with a blank slate, and for some reason the undos didn't come on. I don't know. Okay.
Sorry.
Rappers on street. Okay. Well, looks like I only got 2 undos. I've functioned with the 2 undos before, so we can still get this. Okay, so the other thing I can do is I can take this now and I can remesh it and see what happens. Maybe it'll keep my corners, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll duplicate that just in case the remesher goes bad. Duplicate. And now I'll remesh it. No, maybe I'll subdivide it. Make it smooth. And try to keep this just fix this a little bit just by moving the points around. Till I get it close to where I want it to be. Tristan's going to Oktoberfest today, so he has to situate a few things. So I think he lost his lederhosen. I was gonna bust him for that. Maybe I'll yell down, ask him if he found it. When I hear him walking around down there. I think he's going to Cleveland for that. Gotta meet some buddies up there. All right, so this is okay. So then I'm gonna Dynamesh it. Boom. Yeah, we're gonna Dynamesh it. Nope, that didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? Because I didn't have my Dynamesh resolution high enough. We'll go somewhere like 2000. Hit the Dynamesh. Okay. Kind of still keeps my corners. If I look at this, this is probably smoothed out enough. I'm gonna try something. No, I'm not gonna try it. We're gonna call that good enough. Now I'm gonna try to remesh it. Z remesher. Remesh. Remeshing completed. So then I'm gonna look at the topology here. I still have my lines around here pretty good. It's a hard line. What this will do, Z remesh, we'll do it again, we'll do half of that, is hopefully just hit it a couple times. It'll give me a smoother smoother transition. So it's not as wobbly and wonky. I don't like this. Well, I don't have that. So you see how this looks different than this one. So the original one that I extracted looks like that with this weird triangle corner, right? And then so, ooh, somebody joined. Thanks for stopping by. I'm working on the Oni heads today, the Oni parts for our Legion's Con thing. So okay, then that's what I want. And if I subdivide this back up again, it's gonna get a lot smoother than that. So I gotta turn that off. So that's kind of what I want. For me, for right now, good enough. Now another thing that I can do is I can grab this. I'm gonna go to the mesh center, turn that up, take that off, mesh center. So that is kind of there. Maybe I can, this is just me just trying something. If I move it this way, will it go up taller? Yep. All right, so I'm gonna copy this one. And this is where I got a lot of polygons, so this might get pretty heavy. And then I'll try to shrink that down and see if I can get a double. Nope, don't do that. See if I can get a, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Kind of get a, the other thing I can do, maybe I'll shrink it. Maybe I'll shrink it this way and move it. Maybe this way. I want it to be inside that other piece. So I'll shrink it that way. No. Maybe I'll do, so I could just go in with my brush, my move, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So I'm just going to pull it out in the back here. And then I'm going to go down here and push it in. Tristan,
Yeah.
Did you find your lederhosen?
No, I think I feel like it's at Liz and Zach's,
Yeah.
so I may have to go over there and get them.
Yeah. Okay. I told them about your lederhosen.
Hey, man, I get really into Oktoberfest. What can I say?
Hey, you must be German or something.
I got a little bit in there.
Is that German? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. But Jenny says you got a little bit in there. Enough to go partake in the partay. All right, so there's that. I made for that. And that seems mechy. That seems cool. One thing I want to do is pull this down a little bit. And so then there's a little bit of, you see there's a little bit of a pinch there from the pinch that I originally extracted it. I'm going to try to accentuate that like that and then turn it back on to see if I like that. And again, that just adds to the hard surface. So it's just little things like this that kind of, as I keep doing this, I keep figuring out more. You know what I mean? So like I could do it on this side too. I don't really have to. And if I do it too much, it'll get all wonky. But I'm gonna go in and try to do this here like that. So that gives me a little bit of a pinch. But I turned off symmetry. Boom. So I'm gonna do a little bit more. See what happens. See, hopefully when you paint that with the silver paint or whatever you do, that little crease will show up. So you see I did it on one side. So hopefully if I just mirror it, turn that off. Geometry, mirror, weld. Can't be applied with multiple subdivisions. So you go back into subdivisions, delete the lower, try it again. Try it again, mirror and weld, boom. So I got that little, and now I'll turn my symmetry back on because it should have been on the beginning. So I have that there. So now I can figure out, do I want that or do I just want it, smooth like the bottom one. The other thing is, I can come back. I like how that's darker. So the one I'm selected on always is lighter, but I kind of like that darker. So I'll come down here with gray and just fill that in, and then I'll go back up to this the light one, and make it lighter again, and hit that, and that'll give me a breakup in the pieces, so they'll read better. You'll see them better. I'm going to go ahead and try to tech up this horn. Select that there. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go to, I'm going to subdivide that because I want to have a lot of detail. So when I'm doing the horn, what is this? Okay, so you see I have all these. It's still masked off for when I extract it. And now it's messed up because these polygons down here are not great, and you see how they're doing that weird transition. I don't want that, but now I can't undo because my undo's all screwed up. So the fix to that would do Z remesh, and I'll hit it and see what happens. Now hopefully when it Z remeshes, I do it a couple times. See how these corners are wonky? The more you Z remesh it, the more it's going to straighten out your corners. So I'm going to do half of that. And it should kind of take my wobbliness there. But it kind of tries to keep the shape. So I'm going to keep on dividing it down. No, not dividing it. I'm going to Z remesh it down. See, whenever it goes like this, I start freaking out because I think it might crash and I haven't saved. So I freak out and I hit cancel, and then I save it. So now that's saved. That's the other thing. It's like now I'll run the Z remesh. Make sure that I don't have any subdivisions on it, which I do. That's why the Z remesher wasn't working. So I want to go back down to this, delete my higher subdivisions. Now I want to do the Z remesh. Whenever it doesn't like instantly Z remesh, I know there's something wrong and it's going to crash. And I survived it that time. So you can see that horn's a lot nicer. But this right here, this is a little wonky. So just kind of pull that in a little bit. So it's more of a sharp. I can even go back over this Damien standard and color in there. It's a color in. Sculpt in there to bring that one line towards my tool. And what that's going to do is it kind of pulls it out in this piece. So when I'm down at this level, I'm just checking my edge flow to see if everything's looking good. And then these are all good. These polygons wrap before I go and try to bump up my subdivisions. Now, I want to bump up my subdivisions because now at this point, we'll do one more. The higher subdivisions I have, the more detail that, no, don't do Z remesher. The more detail my stencils, my alpha masks are going to be. So I'd use these alpha masks down here. We'll try to find some techie. Like I want to go through when I have time and like make a bunch of these. But we're using this one and we're going to use drag rect. Yep, that's the right one. And watch, don't do that. And for some reason, I need to turn my color back to red. And we're going to go to Tech Paint, and then we're going to fill it. Make that thing back to red. I said fill it. So I don't know if I'm going to keep all three on there, like the little rooster. You know what I mean? Or if I'm just going to go back to one. But I'm just going to concentrate on this one not do it to all these and then to just copy this back if I do want to take 3. But nobody's here giving me advice. So maybe I'll do a couple different ones and see what everybody likes the best. Like option 1, 2, or 3 kind of deal. Okay, so let me go back to this on Damien Standard. I don't know why it's on Damien Standard. I put it on Damien Standard, but like this is where the fun, this is where the cool is, because that'll catch paint. It looks like it needs to be a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna put that in here. This is what I was expecting to do with the horns, and the thing is it doesn't really show up on the back too much, but there's a little bit of a groove. So let me just get crazy and crank that all the way up to 100 and then see what it does. See, that's not good on the front. Is it? I feel like that's a snapping point. Horns snap anyways. If I go that deep with it, it's almost a for sure gonna fall off. Now, the other thing I wanted to do on these Onis, and that's too high. So it's just kind of like, oh, let's feel it out. That's too low. Don't like it's close. I like kind of how I had it the very first time. All right, so he's still got that detail in the back there. It's good enough. That's deep enough to where it'll catch some paint. And then, do I want to do another? Yes, I do. And then we're gonna do one here. It's probably a little too low. A little bit higher. There we go. We got Cyber Horn. Cyber Horn. And then like the draw would be to do more on this, right? And make it more busy, but I don't want to do that. So I think this one's good. I think that's a good piece right there. So I'm going to duplicate this. Duplicate it. I'm going to duplicate this one. Duplicate. And I'm going to duplicate this one. All right. And so then I got to merge down so they're all one piece. But I got to make sure they're different ones. So one. See, that's the same one. All right. So that's the top. That's that one. And that one's the same color. What's happening? Did I mess this up? I think I messed it up. Okay, this is the better one. This is the crappy one. We're gonna get. That was the original one I extracted, but this is a better shape, so I'm gonna keep the bigger shape. You know. Okay, and then I gotta select this guy. So I got that guy. I got that guy. Did I duplicate that guy? Okay, now 1, 2. What is that? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. I think I got this. I think we're good. Merge this down. Merge this down. Success. Okay, so now we have this here. I would like to make it key into the head. You know what I mean? So like to make it key into the head, I do a square. And then shrink that down. Shrink that down. Shrink it down. Make that pedal go a little bit longer. Square it up here. Maybe if I turn off his that thing, I can see it better. So this will fix. I mean, not so much for the organic stuff, but if I can take this piece here and make that a cutter and try to get it longer so it'll actually, no, don't do that, actually plug into the head. And if this horn ever breaks, we just switch it out. We just switch it out for another horn. Kind of like the goat horns that we had for those sculpts, but I think this will be cool because I'll be able to do different attachments. I'll be able to do different head pieces. And honestly, like if I just do the horn here and all these pieces just wrap around the head the same, I could just do one peg and then these would just rest. Or maybe just do a little nub on the back. Not sure. That's kind of overthinking it. I think the easier thing to do. Okay, so then we're here. I'm gonna merge that down. Mirror, no, not mirror, but I'll merge down. Merge, merge down. Now we'll solo that, and then that's the piece. That's the horn piece. Now I have these in different sections. If you see my active points over here, that's a decent size mesh. So what I'll do here now is I will export it, and I will name it something very easy. Cyber horn. No space. I don't know why no space, but no space. Cyber horn. And then we're gonna export that into the Cyber Oni parts. Save. So now I'll be able to use this on any of the other Onis. I'll be able to use this on the back. Okay, so we'll just do that now. So it was not I made it just to make a horn, but I have horns all over this thing. So I'm going to duplicate that. I don't want to plus it. Duplicate that. And then I will grow it. Boom, boom, boom. It's a giant horn. What is that going to look like? Where's it at? It's so comical. Maybe I'll shrink it down a little bit. Could you imagine that? Okay. Like what's too extreme? Like what's acceptable? Like I got those little 3 eyes up there. What if we make it lower? But see, that's just options. So like I want up like that if I want. But that's not what I was originally going to use it as. So we're gonna go back to these this chest piece here. And this one's more of an organic horn. I was never really super thrilled about that. So I'm gonna see if I can separate this piece right here. So when you're trying to select these individually, you see how they have all these different colors? If you're on a certain brush and you hold shift and control, it'll isolate that group, right? So then I can go in and split that off because it's not one piece. A lot of people just Dynamesh and just kind of re-Dynamesh and all these pieces become one. But if you work like this, especially for me that just likes to switch because I can never like pin something down until I see it. That's a good way to do it. So we're going to split hidden. So now this horn is separate from the rest of it. And see that horn is still on that side. If I would have done mirror, that would have worked. I will leave that. We'll leave that as part of it, just so we can see the difference between the two. So I'm gonna go back over to this guy and move it, and then see if we can go straight up and down. Rotate that out this way. Now this is why I wasn't super crazy about the detail not being on the back, because now I actually am going to show it from the front, which is not bad. You still get cool stuff from the back. And this is like, you use a part and for like a car or machine, but if you like look at like machinery, see, I like that in the back. I never thought to put that in the back. So that's here now. So now I can, no, don't do that. Don't do that. We soloed. Am I not on the horn? Okay, now I'm on the horn. And the chest went invisible. Okay, so now I'm going to put the horn on the back. So now I got to figure out, do I want these coming out like that? Do I want it to be back like that? I kind of want it like that, right? I think I like, because that one's going that way. So do I just stick it in there like so? Kind of like that the best. And then do I want to do it down further? So I'm just going to play with it. Try to find the angle I want. So yeah, we will just kill this. Kill this other organic horn. I'm gonna do the same thing. Delete hidden. And I'm gonna take it, solo it. I could delete it. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete it. So the torso piece is still there. Now this piece. Oh, I'm gonna delete you too. Undo all that. So this is the under chest of the Oni. So when I originally sculpted this guy, I was just playing around, seeing what I like. Like I like a lot of this stuff, but in the end, I just went with this plate to beef him up more, and then I thought about the removable plate. I mean, Mythic Legions has removable plates on the Tusk figure. If I find it. And it could be something where I make these plates and reuse them on those figures as well. Yeah, here we are. I gotta go get something from over there. Be right back. Creeping up on 2 hours yet? An hour and a half. All right, so that piece right there, right? I might just be able to make those pieces to fit here. I don't know how many people have done chest plugs yet. I thought there would be a lot more once those came out, but I guess it's just waiting for me to do them. So yeah, that's going to be a chest plug. But where did I put this thing? Did I delete it? I have somehow deleted the other peg. Okay. I'll duplicate it again. Maybe I'll find it somewhere. It should be in that stack somewhere. Do the same thing. Duplicate, rotate. This is kind of the horn I was hoping. Oh, did I mess that up? Rotate it 90 degrees. Make it a little bit bigger. Oh, it's not deleted. Delete. Okay. I hit it. So I'm going to select this one again. And then we're going to unhide. Oop, don't do that. Okay. Okay, there we are. So the horn's back. The cyber horn's back. All right, so we got the cyber horn back. And maybe now I'll just do the old center it to the world. And then I can go to geometry, modified topology, mirror will. Now I got 2 of these little cyber hordes here. Now I'm not super crazy about this area here, but I do believe that this, no, hide it again, I'm gonna lose it. I have all these in pieces. So like if I want to, I can switch out all these panels. Cool thing about the back of this head though, I know I'm just jumping around. This is kind of how I work. Like sometimes I just go off on tangents. Like with this head, you solo it out. I'm gonna take that out here. So like I'm trying to figure out, like I'll just sit there and think about it when I'm not working on it. I'm like, well, what would happen if I pulled that out more? It would be more of a chicken headed thing. Is it looking too chicken headed now? Oh, I have messed that up with the 2 undos. Okay, so definitely just screw that up. So that's going to take a lot of time to fix, and I'm going to have to go to a different file, and that's going to be a big thing, and I don't want to autosave. So I think I'm just going to end the stream today. I know, yes, last week, hey, maybe next week we'll go for another 4 hours, but I think an hour and a half of us fiddling around kind of shows the process. It's just a lot of this, right? It's just a lot of this until I figure out like what looks the coolest. I think I'm gonna take. Can I just delete? This is why the 2 undo thing I knew was gonna bite me, because like I always do stuff like that and then I just undo it a bunch of times, but then I forgot I didn't have any undos, and I messed that up. I'll get it back. I got a previous file that I saved, but I'm going to take these spikes off altogether. I think I'm going to raise this up and out so it goes over. I like this detail, but I have other versions saved, so I'll just try different looks. I feel like maybe the ogre necks are a lot like taller, like more traps and stuff. So maybe I'll look into that for this, but this is kind of where we're at for today. I'm going to work on it some more, maybe post later. But as far as stream goes, whoever catches me on replay, us on replay, thanks for stopping by, and we will see how this turns out at Legion's Con. Thanks. Bye.